What's up, everybody? Today we got ourselves quite the project. This one's gonna be a doozy in a lot of ways, but it's nothing we can't handle, and all we gotta do is get started and tackle it head on. So one of the tree services I've done a lot of tree climbing for is growing, and they're working out of their personal property, and so they've got plenty of space to do that at their house, but the house isn't really set up for commercial work, and so they've been just using their backyard to do a lot of their firewood processing, chip storage, log storage, all that kind of stuff. It's been working fine for them so far, but now we're in the spring. In Ohio, the spring is particularly wet. This spring in particular is particularly wet, and it's just a mess. So as you can see here, they've got some chips on the ground and that kind of thing that they've been trying to use to make things better, but you can see the water everywhere. It's like this the whole way down and around, and it's such a mess. The second you go driving through anything, it just turns to slop. And as you probably know, if you've ever dealt with chips, they dry out quick on the surface, but they hold water below. And so they really don't make a sustainable driveway. They work really good for just a really temporary situation, but on a permanent basis, they're no good. So our goal here today is going to be to cut out a bunch of topsoil and build up the driveway with stone, so they can get around to all their piles and stockpiles and everything like that, and not end up with getting machines stuck and trucks stuck and all that. Part of our challenge in doing this is that the conditions are so wet, it's just going to make the situation unique. I mean, we've got places that are holding water, and that just turns the muck we're digging out into soup. And so that's going to be a little bit of a challenge today. We've got so much work here that we're going to spend at least 2 days just stripping topsoil. This is the first good day we've had in a while, and so we're just taking and making the best use of it and just going in here and getting started. We could wait, but these folks need to be able to get the stuff back here, so we're going to do our best to get this in as soon as possible for them. The process today, just because we can't load up the truck and drive it around because it's too wet, is I'm going to start digging here with the excavator. I'm going to swing around, dump it, make a pile, and then we'll use the skid steer to haul it away. If I was working by myself, this would take 1.5 million years. And so today I'm very happy to introduce to you guys my new full-time helper, Aiden.
Nice to meet you guys.
He's going to be working for us this summer and hopefully for a long time. And we're going to put him to the test today. He's never really spent a ton of time in a skid steer, but he's going to spend the whole day in one now. So we'll see how he turns out. I'm sure he'll do fine. I had him run the excavator the other day a little bit, and he picked up on it pretty quick, so I think we'll be good. There's 770 feet of driveway going in here. Only thing left to do is get started. We've made some good progress here. Got our road built nice and straight. We spent a lot of time stringing this thing out to get it nice and perfect. I hate when a driveway doesn't end up with really nice clean lines in it. It just looks awful. We were stuck working with those chips up there at the beginning, up at the top. We're down past all the chips now, which is excellent. Even with a little bit of slimy topsoil on top that you see over here, it's not nearly as bad as those chips. Those chips were just holding so much water on the soil, and it was so mucky that it was hard. It wasn't hard to dig up, but it was really hard to stack up. You can see Aiden over there on the other side of that firewood pile. He's building a pile of dirt, and the way he does that is he dumps some dirt, drives up on it, and dumps the next dirt behind it. So dirt has to have good enough structure for him to drive on with the load in the bucket. And so those chips were really problematic because they were so unsuitable for driving on that you couldn't drive up on them. And so when that's the case, you're left with just stacking the dirt up only as high as the skid steer can stack it. So thankfully this dirt down here is a lot better. We had several inches of rain over the last probably 5-day period. This is the first day that we haven't had any rain, and it's amazing that there's dirt this dry here. But that's probably because the tree service here has been driving around and has compacted the soil a lot back here and made it less likely to soak up water, which we're very thankful for because it's making it possible to work here today. We're at a good spot here where I've gotten close enough to the pile that I don't have to wait much on Aiden to come get the dirt out of the way. The amount of time it takes for him to make a trip about the same as amount of time as it takes for me to dig up some dirt. I get a little bit ahead because he's got to tidy up that pile enough to keep driving up on every now and then. But other than that, it's working out to be a good balance. We're going in a straight line so far. It's been pretty easy going. We are coming up to our first turn here. You see the little white line I have outlining stuff there. We have to work ourselves around this radius. Shouldn't be anything too tricky, just a little bit different. Alrighty, so I'm a little bit ahead of Aiden right now, so he's catching up. Let's go show you his pile, because it's little right now, but it's gonna be really big later. So he drives up on the pile, and he dumps dirt at the top, or when this pile gets built a little bit bigger, he'll be dumping it up at the back, off the back of the pile. The pile will just keep growing and getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and we've got all this space to make the pile of dirt in. So he's also doing a little bit of grading, trying to keep it nice, trying to keep it regulated so he can keep driving up it. I'll show you that pile again at the end. We'll see how big it gets. I think it's gonna be pretty big. Well, folks, we're wrapping things up for today. Aiden's fueling things up real quick. Got things parked here. We got a good bit done. It wasn't quite as much as I was hoping to, but that's okay. That's how it goes sometimes. We spent a lot of time laying things out this morning and getting all the curves and turns just right, make sure there's enough room to get a trailer around them and that kind of thing. So we're gonna be back tomorrow. We're gonna keep on chugging and we're gonna make some progress. We're back, folks, and as you can see, a little bit of water ran off the yard into our subgrade here, so I'm carrying a pile of topsoil down to hopefully dam it up a little bit. See if we can kind of stop the flow. That way it's not continuously adding water to the situation. The forecast is looking good for us, and I'm thinking we won't have our subgrade get rained on before we get stone in it, which is very preferable. But if there's yard runoff running into it in the meantime, that's no good. So hopefully this will slow it down. Well, as you can see, we finally made it down to the bottom of the loop here. Our driveway is a big loop shape that goes all the way back up to the top where we had the machines parked. This whole project is kind of starting to come off the rails a little bit. It's nothing terrible, but this topsoil is just too wet. It's too wet to be doing things the way I want to do. For down here where the driveway is close to the pile, it's not that big a deal to shuttle the dirt with the skid steer, but we're adding onto the driveway all the way up to the road, and it's like 500 or 600 feet away, and that's just way too long to be shuttling dirt with the skid steer. So I'm not sure what we're gonna do yet. We might try scraping all the topsoil off of this next section, then maybe see if we can drive the truck on the subgrade. If that works out, that'll be great. If not, maybe we'll bring some stone in and start building up the driveway before we're all done stripping topsoil. It really wouldn't be my preference. I don't want to be carrying topsoil over top of new stone and tracking dirt all over it and everything, but that might just be what we have to do. I don't know. It's gonna be a trick to get this job wrapped up, that's for sure. Well, folks, we're gonna start again up here at the railroad ties, kind of at the top of this part of the driveway. See, these railroad ties are kind of indicating where the end of the old driveway was. You see that little corner there. And right there you can see the subgrade we've already cut. So I'm gonna keep stacking dirt up behind me. Aiden's gonna keep carting it away. This part's gonna have chips mixed in with it again. It also has been driven over a lot, so it's fairly compact. So the soil isn't wet, but the chips are really wet. And by the time we move it all a couple times and we get it stacked up back there, it'll probably be too wet to drive on again. But that's okay. We just gotta work with what we got here and do the best we can with the conditions we have, and just keep working on. There's nothing else to do. I mean, we could go home and twiddle our thumbs until it dries out, but what good would that do? It wouldn't be good for anybody. Alrighty, folks, we've made some good progress, as you can see there. We're working down the other side now, and we're finally really making steam. You can see the skid steer down there dumped on the pile. We've given up on driving up on the pile. It's just way too soft. I was hoping we'd be able to do that, but we can't, so it is what it is. We just stack it up as high as the machine will reach, and that's the way we'll go about it. Well, here we are. We got all of this stripped all the way down around here. Got nice wide corners for them. You know, it makes this big teardrop shape, comes down around and then goes back up and meets right up there. We got a nice wide portion carved out there. Basically all of the semi-close topsoil from this project is now on the pile. Pile's gotten pretty big. We've got more to do, but It was just so wet last week that we couldn't do anything with the truck. The rest of the stuff is going to come from the front of the property and farther up, and it was just too far to move it with the skid steer. We would have been here for a year trying to get that done. I think things are dry enough today that we can run the truck around, so we're going to give that a shot and we'll see how that goes. Up in front here, what we're going to do is they've got the existing concrete driveway, and it's had a hard life with all the trucks driving over. You can see it's all cracked right there. But what they would like to do here is widen it and make it gravel over to this line, so that way heavy vehicles can stay on this side and private personal vehicles can end up on the concrete and go up to the garage. So this total driveway is going to be off the road, down the side of the property, all the way back there to that teardrop, turn around, and then be able to come right back out. It's really going to be a really nice addition to the place for the purpose of making it handier for business use. All that being said, this stuff is way too far away from our topsoil pile to move with the skid steer, so it's finally dry enough to use the truck. That's what we're going to do. I actually planned on doing this for the whole job. It just was way too wet earlier when we were trying to work to make that happen. Well, I found a couple of old abandoned coax cables. That's always exciting. No matter how much I know that there's not anything live over here because we got the live stuff marked out and it's way over there, it always makes me nervous the second I see one of these things pop up out of the ground. But we're all good, not a problem. We did get the truck loaded up. As you can see here, it took about that much dirt to do it. I'm digging fairly deep here because I want this part to be really thick. And we're gonna go back and dump it now at the back. I've got Aiden running a truck for me. This is his first time driving a big truck. We'll see how it goes. Alrighty, Captain, take us to the back. All right. I'm thinking we'll be best off to take the right side. Okay. That way we can back up to the pile pretty easy when we get back there.
That's what I was going to ask, is what you think is the best way to dump it.
Yeah, fair question. So it'll be best if we go to the right here, go around, and then back up to the pile. It's always best when you're dumping a dump truck to back up to the pile. If you back up, if we went the other way and you backed up away from the pile, we'd have less room to stack up the piles, which means less time before we would have to push up on the pile with the skid steer. Look at that, you can see our subgrade's holding up real nice with a load of dirt. That's some good hard ground there. Yep, keep going on around the curve here. All right, stop there probably, and go ahead and turn your wheels and back up. Looking good. You're gonna aim for your mirrors, and with your mirrors, you're gonna put yourself just in front of the pile. No problem. Go ahead and turn to the right a little bit. I want to try and get this pile over towards the property line a little bit more. Yeah, there you go. Now this ground is soft. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Yeah, that's probably good. That's probably good. We're just going to run with the tailgate down for a day. You can go ahead and start dumping, Aiden. Keep going up. Yep, take her all the way. That's it. All right, go ahead and pull forward so the rest of that dirt can fall out. Very nice. You can go ahead and let the bed down now. Back up front to do it all again. There we are. I've got Aiden out there at the road cleaning up the spot I couldn't reach real well. Go ahead and load this truck up, another cycle, and then another cycle, and then another cycle, and get the drift. I'll let you know when we're ready for the next piece. stacked. Alrighty, there goes our next load. I got that one stacked up pretty high. Shouldn't be a problem for Aiden. Should be able to dump it pretty easy. That's how far 2 loads has gotten us. How many loads do you think it's going to take for us to get all the way back along this white line to the gravel there? I'm going to say 6. Maybe 5. Put your comment below. There goes load number 3. Alrighty, Aiden just left with the 4th load. As you can see, we're close to the gravel. We got this much done. The corner of the gravel, existing gravel, starts there. So we'll probably get up pretty close to it. But maybe I was wrong with my 6 loads guess. Maybe it's gonna be closer to 5. I think it's gonna be closer to 5. Keep coming. Keep coming. Right there is good. Well, Aiden just took off with the 5th load and we're all ready to the gravel. So I guess technically there's a little bit more here. So it's technically it's 6 loads, but in all reality it was only 5. So I was wrong there. Our first load of base material has showed up here. So we're gonna take a pause from digging and spread this out. Alrighty, we got everything spread up in here and down to the part where we're widening out this gravel portion here, which is good. I really want to get that in today. We had to get that in before anything else because running those trucks over this concrete driveway would have been a catastrophe. So now we're kind of in a pickle. We've got that area filled up. We still need to dig this area out here, but we're getting asphalt deliveries still, and I don't want to stop the deliveries, so I've got one back there. I got to spread out so I'll be ready for the next one when he comes again in about 30 minutes. So between deliveries, we're still trying to haul dirt, and we're just trying to get a lot done. Tomorrow we're going to have 2 trucks running, so we'll absolutely get all the asphalt hauled in here, which is necessary, but I think we've got a good shot of getting it done. So I'm not worried. I feel pretty good about it, but we got to keep moving. Alright, well, we're getting along pretty good. We got Aiden on the roller today, rolling the stuff in. It's rolling in super good. It's really nice and tight. We've got delivery truck just pulled in. He's gonna be backing up here and we'll probably dump him at the end there. We were working on the other side yesterday, but we started working on this side this way and we'll bring them together there in the back. Let's see what else. We got that whole area to do up there yet, but I'm saving that for later for a reason that I'll tell you about in a minute. Let's see. Oh, we got that side done well enough. I had to park the truck somewhere. We're running out of room up there, so we ended up parking on that stuff. It's just holding up so good. I'll show you. Let me show you this truck that's loaded backing up over it. It takes it like a champ. There we go. That truck driver is a little bit wild, and I mean, that's fine. We're paying him hourly because it's cheaper than by the load, but he is tearing in and out of here so fast. Definitely keep your children out of the way. Well, I was actually hoping to get 2 trucks running today so we could get this stuff in here and we could be out in good time, but it's actually turned out pretty good that we've only got 1. It's giving us time to lay our fabric down in between trucks, because if you lay all that stuff out ahead of time, it inevitably ends up blowing into some tree somewhere, and we don't want that hassle. So it's actually working out good. It gives us time to get a pile spread out and rolled in and the fabric down for the next pile before he comes back. He's making like a 35-minute round trip or something like that. So I think we'll get it all in. It just maybe not as fast as I was hoping. Well folks, we got rained on a couple of times and we had some other little issues here and there, but we got all the asphalt in. Here it is. It goes all the way here, down around the teardrop, back up the other side of teardrop, all the way back up through here. We widened this part of the driveway here, and then we widened that up there by a lot, up there at the road, so that way they can get heavy stuff in without running over the concrete. It was quite the project. We're not done yet. The asphalt is just a base. We're gonna come back and top it with 304, at least that's what we call it around here, is 304 limestone. Its rocks are about number 4 sized all the way down to dust. And it packs in really good, and after it gets rained on and the fines and the dust in there settles and gets driven down into the aggregate, it makes a really nice surface for driving on, and that'll be the best for this application because this business has a mini skid steer, and that mini skid steer turning on like a 57 top dress or something is just gonna roll them stones right out of the way. Originally I was planning to put the 304 down at the same time consecutively, you know, a day after putting the asphalt base in. However, it's not working out in this job just because it took a day longer than I was expecting, which is okay. And we've got to come back and do it another time because I've got some jobs I got to get wrapped up yet this week. So I'm loaded up. It's going to be a full load. We got the mobile toolbox, the forks, 2 buckets, the skid steer, and the excavator with another bucket all on the trailer here. Dinner is waiting for me at home, and I got kind of a long ride, so I'm heading out. Next time I'll see you, I'll be putting 304 down. We're back. It's a busy morning and it's time to get going here. We got the skid steer out here. It's looking fantastic because we cleaned it up real nice for the parade, but that's only going to last for a few minutes here when we get started. Truck driver's already been here and strung out a couple loads for us, and honestly, I'm very pleased. He was very kind and took the time to really spread them out so we didn't have stuff spilling outside of the bounds of the driveway and making a mess. So let's go ahead and jump into spreading some stuff out. I sent Aiden to go pick up the rental roller, and that has turned into a whole fiasco this morning because that roller's like brand new, but the rental place was having a problem with the seat switch, and we experienced some of that when we were out here. It kept wanting to shut down and go into like safety mode or something. And so they ordered a new one. It was the wrong part. It's a whole thing. So they rented us another machine from another rental facility for the same price, which is very kind of them because they give us great prices that you can't get anywhere else. That was going to be an easy solution, just take a few more minutes. But when Aiden went to pick up the trailer, because we need a special kind of trailer to haul the roller because it's got to be low to the ground and not have steep ramps so the roller can get up on it. And when he went to the first place to pick it up, the chains were too short to reach on the hitch that's on the truck. The hitch that's on the truck is rusted into the truck. It's never coming out. It's just been a whole morning. So I got to get push on the stone. We'll see when the roller gets here, I guess. Well folks, we're getting along here just fine. They did start hauling with 2 trucks. The plan was originally to do 1 truck, which would give me plenty of time between loads to spread stuff out. But I asked for 2 if they could give it to me just because I really want to get this all wrapped up today. So I started hauling with 2. It's about all I can do to keep up, but I am keeping up and it's working out just perfect. Just like that, the second truck is here. He's backing down the other side, which is perfect. I want to get the other side finished up before we do any more on this side. That way we're not running over the 304 with the big trucks prematurely. It's so helpful when they get that stone strung out for me a little bit. Otherwise, if it's all dumped in one spot, I just spend a ton of time just moving it and moving it and moving it. All right, we're making good progress. Aiden showed up. After all the hassle he had to go through, he arrived with the roller, so he's rolling out that part of the teardrop. We got stone spread up through here. I think we've got 10 truckloads, maybe. I've kind of lost count, really, to be honest. Just been trying to keep up. But we got that little bit more there to do, this little bit here, and then out front. It's only like 10:30, so we're moving along real nice. Ooh, that dump truck's leaning. That's a brave driver. I didn't really want him to drag it out there, but that's okay. We make it work. Well, folks, we kept spreading, kept compacting, and it's done. In her flat and compacted glory. I'm super happy with how it's turned out. This was already broken, so don't be concerned we didn't do that. But look how this edge turned out. It is so challenging sometimes to get elevations to match up just perfect like that, because we got to put the stone in, but we got to put it in a little bit high so that when the compactor comes by and pushes it down, it's not lower than the concrete. That turned out perfect. I'm super happy with that. The grade throughout the whole driveway is just worked out really well. We ended up with over 500 tons of aggregate in this driveway, 510 tons to be exact. So that's the biggest stone order I've made to date. This was a pretty big project. I think we ended up with at least what's equivalent to like 830 or 840 linear feet of 12-foot wide driveway. And it's a really big project. That also means we moved probably about 500 tons of dirt too. This is a big project to be doing with just a mini excavator and a skid steer. But with Aiden's help, we were able to pull it off. Let me take you back to the dirt pile and just show you what that looks like, because I got that cleaned up nice. I'm really happy with that too. Back here we have this huge pile of dirt. And to anybody that starts to think about it, you might start to think, well, is that going to dam up a bunch of water and cause some problems? And it is not, because though you probably can't see it on camera, there's a very slight grade that goes downhill across the property this way. The grade for the entire property comes to the back here, but also goes down that way. And so what's going to happen is I cleaned this up really clean up against the pile here. All this water is going to run down here, and then it's going to want to flow off the property just like that, go around the pile, in front of that chip pile, and go on off the property. Pretty much like it was before we got started, just a little more focused over in that corner. But look how big this dirt pile is. It's just huge. I could have stacked it up higher, but we didn't want to have a bigger footprint because we didn't want to get too close to the driveway or the property line on the other side. But it's a big old loaf, a big old worm. I don't even know, I didn't step it off, but there's a lot of dirt there. Just overall, I'm just so happy with how this job turned out. Our driveway is a good, hard, solid driveway. It's a very good utility driveway for this tree service to work on. The surface packed in super nice, and so they won't tear it up when they're on it with their mini skid and things like that. It's just a really good project. I'm super happy with how it turned out. We spent a total of 5 days on it, which was 1 day more than I was expecting, but that's okay, we'll survive. And I'm glad we took the extra time, because if we had tried to rush and save a day, it just wouldn't have turned out nearly as nice. Thank you guys for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you want to do us a favor and hit that like button, it helps the videos do so much better, and that helps the channel do better, and that makes it easier for me to make videos like this for you guys. I love you guys. We'll see you next time.